Welcome back to More Oklahoma. I'm Chris Cuomo here. The situation far from over on the ground. Search and rescue is desperate here. Government authorities are calling in help from the federal government, from surrounding communities to help find those who may still be alive. What happened here? Obvious. A massive tornado ripped through an area several blocks wide, 20 miles long. Hit More Oklahoma yesterday. What hit power was yesterday. The power was undisputable. Where there were homes, there now what appear to be piles of straw. The loss was complete and across all categories. Homes, obvious. Business, of course. Human loss of life as well. The numbers are very low. Just got off the phone with an official. He says, low, low, low. Chris, we don't know. We don't know about the dead. We don't know about the injured. But we do measure these situations in terms of casualties. So I will tell you, at this point, 51 confirmed dead, 20 of those kids, 145 injured. But there are so many walking wounded. Just look at the pictures before you. Families took to their own before they took care of themselves. They went and looking for their kids, so you'll see people bloodied. They're injured, but they wanted to find what matters most, their kids. Plaza Tower, Briarwood, 2 elementary schools hit just at dismissal time, 3 p.m. Plaza Tower's very bad. There's hand-to-hand search going through there now, literally carrying debris through, listening for sounds, bringing in the dogs to with their acute sense of hearing. Lots of reunions. Lots of life saved here, but their loss is just devastating, and we're going to hear so much more about it throughout the day. I'm joined here and more with John Berman. You've seen him throughout the morning. He had to leave his shot because authorities wanted to be able to hear the community as well as possible, the satellite truck, the generators. Now, word of caution at home. You're going to see things behind us. You're going to see lightning. You're going to see flashes. It looks very scary. We are told by those who know better than we do that the front is moving. It is not a danger to us. It's not a risk to our truck at this time, so we can stay up and broadcast. It looks much more significant than it is to us. And to be honest, it is a little bit of a scary scene.
There is weather. You will see the lightning through the morning. The other thing you will see in these areas is the dust being blown around and debris, little particles being blown through the air. It will get in your eyes. It gets in the rescue workers' eyes and the recovery crews as they're working, because the power of the storm, it just lifted everything up into the air. Chris, let me give you a sense of what I've seen as I've been driving around here over the last several hours through these neighborhoods. A couple images seared into my head. In one of these neighborhoods where the houses were all destroyed, I already saw a tent up in a front lawn. Someone whose home is destroyed has no home to go back to now. That tent in their front lawn, that tent is their home. I can't tell you how many dogs I saw walking around these neighborhoods. Lonely dogs, probably looking for their homes. Again, those homes gone. The people who own those dogs probably looking for them right now. Animal rescue, a big part of tragedies like this. And then the lone solitary flashlights looking through some of the rubble and debris of these homes. It is a sight to behold in that school, the Plaza Tower School. We were right up next to it, simply flattened like so many of the neighborhoods here. The last 20 hours here in this town of Moore, population 55,000. It's a day that this area will never forget. Let's look back. The massive tornado tore across 20 miles of Oklahoma City suburbs in just 40 minutes. From the sky, the mile-wide trail of destruction, hard to comprehend and utterly catastrophic.
Oh my God!
The ferocious storm flattening homes and buildings, flinging cars in the air and leaving 2 schools and a hospital barely recognizable in the hard-hit town of Moore.
I've never seen anything like this in my 18 years covering tornadoes.
Decimating everything in its path. Homes crushed to piles of debris. What looks like haystacks where houses once stood. As the injured poured into hospitals, cars tossed like toys from the parking lot of the Moore Medical Center piled up, blocking the main entrance.
Actually heard it go over us, felt our ears popping. It's just something that we've never experienced. It was really scary.
Nearby, a mother and her 7-month-old found dead where a 7-Eleven once stood. They tried to take cover in a freezer during the storm.
They're grabbing and throwing debris, trying to get anybody out.
A massive recovery effort at one of 2 schools for children buried under the rubble continued into the night. The grim reality setting in with rescuers and their anxious parents. Bloody teachers seen here carrying children away from Briarwood Elementary School, destroyed from this monstrous twister, trapping close to 100 students. Tears of relief for one mother as she reunites with her first-grade son. And a hug to his teacher.
He was so brave. Oh, he was so brave.
For miles, entire neighborhoods destroyed, many describing the horror they faced.
We grabbed our motorcycle helmets and hid in the closet and prayed like hell. And luckily, the only rooms that were spared was the room we were in.
Debris churned through the powerful black funnel as this storm roared. You can hear the piercing winds reaching up to 200 miles per hour. At a family farm, as many as 100 horses were killed and most of the barns demolished.
Two of these stalls like this, they came together, and I was in between them, and it just pushed us down the shed row.
President Obama declared Oklahoma a disaster area late Monday and called the state's governor.
I know that there are families wondering where their loved ones are, and right now we're doing everything that we can.
When you saw the filth covering that one man again, the debris just everywhere, you also saw those hugs, those reunions. Chris, you know this as a parent. These are those moments you simply cannot hug your kids tightly enough.
Not being able to get cell signal, not knowing where your kids are. I mean, it's just unimaginable. The picture on the cover of the Oklahoman this morning, you've been seeing it throughout the morning. There's a daddy hugging his kid, the mom. Can you see her? You'll see. We'll show you this picture in a better way. It was in John's piece. Her face is bloodied. Her eye is closed, but she has a smile on her face because she found her kids. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters for this community is they're trying to get back up on their feet. They've recovered before. May 2003 was devastating. May 1999 was devastating. They'll get back. They'll get their homes. They'll get their businesses. They'll prosper that way. But when you lose a loved one, it's over forever. So that's why there's such urgency on search and rescue. That's why when they tell us to move because they want to be able to hear everything they can, we get up and we move to a better location. Everybody here on the ground is here to help. Now, we keep being told, John, that the casualty numbers are low. That's going to be complicated by the fact that area hospitals got hit as well. We're going to go to Pam Brown right now. Now, this is this picture, just so you can just imagine.
There's the picture.
If you're going to capture an image, every time you see that one, let it hit home for you. We want to go to Pam Brown now. She's at one of the area hospitals surveying the situation there. This is the picture we want you to keep in your mind and in your heart. That mother is happy despite everything that's happened to her because she has what matters most. She has her kids. There's Pam. It's good to see you, Pam. What do you understand from the situation from where you are?
Well, Chris, right behind me is a hospital, one of two hospitals here in Moore, Oklahoma, damage from the tornado. This is Moore Medical Center, and just look at it. It's obliterated. Obviously, this created a big challenge for first responders trying to bring patients to the hospital for treatment. Across town, where we just were at Plaza Towers Elementary School, only a couple walls are standing there with no underground shelter to go to. Dozens of students had to do what they practiced during drills. They crouched down on the ground in the hallways with their hands over their heads as a tornado bulldozed through there. This morning, rescuers are searching the rubble there at the school site, trying to find more survivors as parents anxiously await. Illuminated by floodlights, rescue teams searched tirelessly throughout the night, sifting through mountains of debris where Plaza Towers Elementary School once stood.
Oh my God.
In some places, the debris was 10 feet high. Underneath, every parent's worst nightmare, the bodies of school children who tried to seek shelter from a ferocious tornado. Many more still missing. The race to rescue dozens of students and teachers began right after the massive 2-mile-wide tornado ripped through two elementary schools directly in its path. At hardest hit Plaza Towers Elementary, a third-grade class huddled in a hallway of their school.
I had to hold on to the wall to keep myself safe because I didn't want to fly away in the tornado.
We had to pull a car out of the front hallway off a teacher, and I don't know what that lady's name is, but she had 3 little kids underneath her. Good job, teach.
Worried parents sent to a staging area at a nearby church and search for answers. At first, several children were pulled from the leveled school alive, but with each passing hour, the operation tragically went from a rescue to a recovery mission. The heart-wrenching reality of the storm's fury hard to comprehend, even for those covering it.
I've never seen anything like this in my 18 years covering tornadoes here in Oklahoma City. This is, without question, the most horrific I've never seen.
Okay, Lance, listen, we need to get this information.
This new video shows raw emotional moments from parents reunited with their kids from Briarwood Elementary in the minutes after the tornado hit. Searchers were able to reunite many kids with their families. CNN's Nick Valencia was there.
Was it scary? What was it like?
It was like a big tornado tear up the whole place.
You're a tough one for sticking it out.
Yep.
What was once a place for learning became an unrecognizable place of horror. A student from Plaza Towers Elementary telling CNN's George Howell how he survived.
It was scary, and a lot of my friends were still there when I left.
What did your teachers tell you to do? You showed me a moment ago. This?
Go ahead and show them what you did at school.
You ducked and you covered your head with your hands.
And parents this morning are hailing the teachers at two of the elementary schools as heroes. Several of the teachers actually shielded the children, laying on top of them as a tornado came through. Other teachers pulled walls off of children trapped underneath. And this morning, as we mentioned, it is a recovery mission at Plaza Towers Elementary School. 7 children we know of have been killed there, and rescuers looking for more children there. And also, Chris and John, just quickly want to pan over here at Moore Medical Center and just show you the scene one more time. Kind of incredible to look at this FedEx truck here with the lights still on. And you look at the hospital, as we said, it is obliterated. We've learned that the patients were evacuated from here after the hospital sustained damages from the tornado, and the patients were evacuated to a couple medical centers here in the area. But just an unbelievable sight here to look at this hospital and to look at the damages it sustained from that massive tornado.
And Pamela, the sun is coming up behind you. We see the lightning above us too. The weather here is something everyone has their eyes on today. Everyone concerned. They want to make sure there aren't going to be more storms coming this way. And I should say we want to get a look at that forecast right now. If there are more storms, if this system will continue, let's go to the CNN Weather Center right now. Indra Peterson joins us now from Atlanta. Hey, Indra.
Hey, yeah, I wish I had better news, but unfortunately I do not. We're still looking at this weekend/week now of a tornado outbreak. You're just talking about the severe weather you're currently seeing. In fact, we have severe thunderstorm warnings just south of the area. In fact, we've actually kind of zoomed in a little closer, and we've seen hail cores potentially as high as 2.5 inches just south of you. So cell after cell is continuing to develop out there. I'm going to zoom out wide and show you there's still plenty of instability out here. But keep in mind, usually we see a little bit of a break as some of this starts to die down. And then once again, as we go through the afternoon, we start to see this activity develop again. As far as today, in fact, we've actually enhanced the risk out there in comparison to what we saw yesterday. What we're looking at is 50 million, about 48 million to be exact there. Seeing that slight risk area, but the difference between today and yesterday is that yesterday we did not have a moderate risk area, but today, as we mentioned, we have now upped that. So anywhere from Dallas, really kind of going in towards Shreveport and portions of Arkansas, now we have that higher threshold for the threat for tornadoes. So that's the dangerous situation we're watching for again today. But I also want to stress, just because you're not in this moderate area, by no means doesn't mean you don't need to be vigilant in this widespread area. Keep pointing out to Granbury, Texas last week, barely in that slight risk area, and yet still an EF4 tornado went right through that town. So please, everyone, please keep an eye out. I know we're all focusing on what happened, but please, you need to look around everywhere today. As long as you're in this risk area, potential danger is still going to be with you.
All right, thanks, Indra. Indra Peterson's in Atlanta. The message there, please, please, everyone, be careful. There are millions of people right now who should be on the watch for potential danger today as these storms continue to move across the country.
And we're lucky that they do have a trace signature on radar, so our meteorologists like Indra are able to see things, give us a little bit of a heads up. Sometimes it's not enough, but you do have to take that word immediately. Here, again, you're seeing scary-looking weather front over us, but not a threat of tornado at this time, so search and rescue can continue. Throughout the morning, we're going to tell you what matters most here, which is that you should try to help if you can. CNN.com/impact. Okay, you can go on our website. You'll see the different organizations that are trying to pass the hat and finding out specific needs for this area. We really want to show you this one image that pretty much captures what we've seen here on the ground so far. It's on the cover of the Oklahoman today. Put up the picture of this one family, and really this was the best case scenario. You know, Daddy's got his little girl in his arms. His face is banged up. His wife is behind him. She's literally visibly bloodied from the experience, but they have their family. They have what matters most. And as rough a scene as that looks, there's so many families that are praying that that is their ending to what happened here yesterday.
And that girl just melting into the father's arms. We have so many questions this morning here. What is the status of the search, the recovery, the rescue operation? How many homes were destroyed? When we come back, we are going to speak with Lieutenant Governor of Oklahoma, put these questions to him, and find out, as the sun comes up here, what is the exact situation in Moore, Oklahoma. Stay with us.